motherfucker. I got when I was 11, Twist. I loved it. I ain't never pressed charges. I'm gonna do you like baby them did me.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah. I'll never forget that day. Yeah, no, they was all in the kitchen. I was scared. It was cool. There was about this many niggas and shit too in that bitch. I never forget the word. Suck Lil Wayne, let I was a different man after that. I was Lil Wayne. After that, yeah.
Yes, it's your boy. How are you all doing? Script is back with another episode of The Doors to Success. And for those who haven't seen it before, we're examining the career of renowned rapper and hip-hop musician, Lil Wayne. I have a series on my channel that focuses on the darker aspects of rap artists' ascent. For more videos that explore this idea, my playlist. In summary, however, Nori's 2014 interview with DJ Vlad revealed that as artists reach the pinnacle of their fame, they are presented with doors, each offering a different path. Door 1 is the independent grind, where they hustle alone against the industry's machine. 2 is what Nori called the fruity activities, tied to humiliation rituals or compromising moments that make you question one's character. Or door number 3 is the sacrifice, where rumors circulate about losing someone close to lock in that spotlight. However, before we examine the doors Lil Wayne has ostensibly passed through, let's set the scene with a brief backstory. After all, is Wheezy F Baby who doesn't already? Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., known to the world as Lil Wayne, was born on September 27, 1982, in the heart of New Orleans, Louisiana, in the gritty Holly Grove neighborhood of the 17th Ward. This impoverished area shaped his early life, filled with both struggle and resilience. His mother, Jacida Carter, a cook, was just 19 when she gave birth and raised him after his biological father, Dwayne Carter, divorced her when Wayne was only 2 and left the family. Wayne found a true father figure in his stepfather, Reginald Rabbit McDonald, whose memory he honors with a tattoo. As an only child, his mother was able to ensure he would excel academically. He was enrolled in a gifted program at Lafayette Elementary School and later attended Eleanor McMain Secondary School, where he was an honor student and a drama club member, even playing the Tin Man in a school production of The Wiz. But his path wasn't without pain. At 12, in 1994, Wayne faced a life-altering moment when he accidentally shot himself with a 9mm handgun, a wound so severe, he later revealed it was an attempted suicide. An off-duty police officer, Robert Hobler, saved his life by rushing him to the hospital by 15. After his mother found a gun in his school bag, Wayne decided to leave Marion Abramson Senior High School to pursue a GED. Music was Wayne's passion and salvation from an early age. At the age of 8, he wrote his first rap songs, demonstrating a natural talent that would soon change his life. In the summer of 1991, Wayne met Brian, then 9 years old, the founder of Cash Money Records, Baby Williams, also known as Birdman, recognized something unique in the young rapper and signed him as the label's youngest artist. Wayne started his professional career as a member of the Bee Gees, a duo with fellow New Orleans rapper B.G., who was then known as Lil Doogie. By 1996, he had joined the Hot Boys, a group that included Juvenile, B.G., and Turk, label mates of Cash Money. With records like Get It How You Live and the platinum-selling album, the Hot Boys swept the hip-hop scene. The Block is Hot, Wayne's solo debut in 1999, went platinum and established him as a rising star. But his subsequent albums Lights Out and 500 Degrees saw less commercial success. Guerrilla Warfare's single Bling Bling was featured on BG's Chopper City in the Ghetto, and Wayne's appearance on Juvenile's Back That Ass Up became defining moments showcasing his lyrical skills. Beginning with The Drought in 2003, Wayne's career took off once more thanks to his inventive mixtape series. These mixtapes, which were frequently made available for free online, revolutionized the genre and showcased his unwavering work ethic and lightning-fast delivery by rapping over other artists' hit beats and outperforming them on songs by 2005. As Wayne established Young Money Entertainment, a label that would launch the careers of celebrities like Drake and Nicki Minaj, and became president of Cash Money Records, his power expanded. Wayne was on a major hot streak at this time in his career and showed no signs of slowing down. In 2005, he released Carter II, his fifth studio album. But his biggest commercial triumph was Carter No. 3, his sixth album and the third part in the Carter series. This was just a brief backstory. The rest of Wayne's life is history. Without further ado, let's dive into door number 1 and let you decide whether or not he went through it or music. The album sold over 8 million copies and earned him his first Grammy Awards, including Best Rap Album and Best Rap Song for his smash hit Lollipop, featuring Static Major, a key figure we'll get into shortly. The majority of Lil Wayne fans have probably already seen the images and footage of Birdman and Lil Wayne sharing a kiss during their event at O2 Rap City.
So my son right here, okay. Special delivery too. He was a special delivery. You all right? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big Lack. How you doing, Wayne? Big Stone. Everything good? My bad. Everything good? My bad.
What John Wayne said about BET years after,
I gotta ask, ladies, I got y'all up here. So when you kiss a girl, right?
Hey, I'm not the person he kissed. That's how I roll. That's nobody else, man. We roll like that.
Okay, now.
Ain't no freak.
Okay,
we just roll like that. That's my son. I raised him, you heard?
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
the closeness between the two is not surprising. Birdman calls it a father-son relationship. But let's be honest, he isn't Wayne's real father. Thus, it's actually simply two adult males kissing, which is homosexual. To put it simply, musicians often use these labels to do some crazy, fruity kaki. And in some way, it helps them reach new heights. Despite their tumultuous disagreements over money and personal issues, Wayne's tight friendship with Birdman has undoubtedly driven his success, and they are still close today. There have long been claims that Birdman began training Lil Wayne at the age of 9, even though they are 13 years apart.
I'ma do you like baby them did me.
Birdman then addressed this a few times more, including in 2009 on Tim Westwood TV, stating,
Son, you hear me? If he was right here, I'd kiss him again. You hear me? I kiss my daughter, I kiss my other son. I think people just took that too far, man, you know?
It must have frustrated you as well, because he was like, come on, man. He was like, you know.
That's my son, man. I'll do it again, do it tomorrow. I'll kill for him, ride for him, and die for him.
When he was questioned about the same video and images on the Revolt's Big Facts program in 2021, this is what he said.
A while back, there was a situation where you and Wayne had like a kiss thing going on.
Facts.
So yeah, so like they wanted to know like what the deal was with that.
First of all, my own born son,
Yes.
I would kiss him.
Right.
I know you got a child, you probably kiss him. You probably got a son and you kiss him.
Yeah.
You heard me? I always looked at Wayne as my son, and I always looked at it like, because I was in the streets, and I thought this might be the last time they ever see me.
Damn.
Because I was living like that.
Right.
So I was like, that's what that shit really started from. Because I thought that every night I leave, I might not never come back.
Yeah.
And I always today look at Wayne as my child.
Had a little break in an attempt to set the scene, but no matter what Birdman says, his deeds always speak louder. That moment when he asked security to bring some guys on stage when the Hot Boys were having a twerk competition with some women is the most revealing example.
I'll show you what type nigga I am, right? These niggas right here been bucking with me all night. I want y'all to come up here and fuck with me.
Come on, let them niggas
y'all
up here.
Y'all 3, y'all 4, right? Yeah, all y'all come up here and fuck with a nigga. It's cool like that. You heard me?
What's
Look,
up?
Travis,
What's up?
what's wrong with us?
Come on, you wanna come up here?
Fuck that. What
You
a
wanna come
hot
up here?
girl said,
You gonna shake?
Look, if you ask me, it all feels pretty sus. But no matter his undeniable hits, it seems clear to me at least that Lil Wayne opened this door to success. But hold up, aside from that weird relationship those two got going on, we got to dive into Lil Wayne's rock phase after dropping Rebirth in 2010, a rap rock experiment. Many still call his worst album. Wayne swerved hard from his usual sound. His fashion started shifting too, and keep in mind back in 2011, things weren't nearly as out there as they were now. So when Wayne rolled up in leopard print, skin-tight women's jeggings, it set off immediate frenzy. Folks were speculating, and even back then people like myself were saying, it's a part of the industry's twisted games or some sort of humiliation ritual, but that itself is pretty tame compared to what Wayne's rap game offsprings, like Young Thug and Playboi Carti, have been caught up in. Both dudes heavily inspired by Wayne keep landing in some questionable moments. Like I said in my recent Kanye West video, sometimes you don't need any gematria to decode what's really going on with these artists. But for door number 2, we'll definitely need to crunch some music numbers now. This one's pretty interesting, and before folks jump to say it couldn't possibly be true, especially since Wayne and Static Major didn't have much of a relationship before the Carter III, only bumping into each other here and there at different studios. The numbers sure seem to tie the success of Wayne's 6th album to the death of the legendary songwriter, artist, and producer Static Major. For those who don't know Static Major, his influence still echoes in R&B and hip-hop. Born Stephen Ellis Garrett Jr. on November 11, 1974 in Louisville, Kentucky. He honed his musical gifts early, leading a church choir at 6 and later joining the R&B group Play Up, mentored by Jodich's Devontae Swing. He adopted the name Static Major, inspired by Dr. Dre's You Better Recognize and crafted iconic tracks like Genuine's Pony, Aaliyah's Rock the Boat, and Destiny's Child's Bills, Bills, Bills. His innovative R&B, hip-hop, and pop fusion defined Aaliyah's self-titled album in 2008. The Carter III achieved diamond status because of Static's vocals on Lil Wayne's Lollipop, which earned them a Grammy and marked a crucial partnership. Unfortunately for Static, however, he would unceremoniously die at the early age of 33, just before he could get his first Grammy Award.
You didn't know his stage name, Static Major, you had likely heard his music. He was in the R&B group Playa in the early 90s, but grew to be an accomplished songwriter.
Let's go back to New Year's Eve of 2007, when, according to Static's business manager Louise West, Lil Wayne told them, "Hold the presses." Static was in the studio with Lil Wayne while he was working on the Carter III and told Wayne that he needed a pop song for the album. This is when things started to get a little weird, before the world would have the word lollipop stuck in their heads for the next few years. Before you knew it, he had discovered his first single. Static Major and Lil Wayne were in Las Vegas filming the music video for the song that catapulted Lil Wayne from rap legend to pop status. The video was shot at the Gavin Maloof residence on 27 Eagles Landing Lane and the Las Vegas Strip. The two are seen living the high life, with Static's hands on the pulse for hit records. Both Static Major and Wayne were certain that the song would be a major hit, not only for Wayne, but also to give Static the recognition he needed to launch his career into the mainstream. At the end of the video shoot for Lollipop, Static was preparing to release his first solo album, Supper Time. Dwayne Bibb, co-owner of Big Dawn and MJ Entertainment and a childhood friend of Static Major, organized a Valentine's Day cabaret at the Melwood Arts Center last February. Major Static complained of feeling a little ill at the time, explaining that he had been trying to get rid of a cough since the Lollipops shoot, but he was excited about performing in front of his hometown audience. Little did Bibb know that Static's performance at the cabaret would be his last. A week after the cabaret, the studio hermit, who was known to spend hours writing and harmonizing, had to postpone a full-day session because the cough he had been bothered by was getting worse with a hoarse voice. Reluctantly, Static went to DeKalb Medical, a hospital in Decatur, Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta, where he informed Avanti that he had acid reflux. He returned to Louisville, still feeling exhausted about checking in for medical treatment after calling home to complain of dizziness and aches. He also told Devontae that he was unable to open his right eye and had been bedridden for the majority of the day. The article discusses Static's dread of hospitals, which sprang from the death of his sister Melinda, and how he believed the hospital was involved. A quick side note, Static, after departing from Def Jam Records, signed with Blackgrounds Records in the early 2000s, owned by Barry Hankerson, the uncle of late R&B singer Aaliyah, who died in a mysterious plane crash. Remember, Static helped contribute a lot to one of her big albums, so it appeared that Static had experienced his fair share of tragic losses during his short life. Now, with things getting worse at home, Static's wife, Avanti, convinced Static to check into the nearest hospital. So on February 25, 2008, Static was in the care of Baptist Hospital East, and after a number of tests was diagnosed with a rare condition called myasthenia gravis, an autoimmune disorder with hallmark symptoms of muscle weakness and fatigue. Doctors recommended a procedure called plasmapheresis, a treatment similar to dialysis that removes toxins from the blood using an implanted catheter as a central line through the neck and into the chest area. This is where things got real murky. Static expressed immense pain after the insertion of the catheter, but one of the nurses failed to acknowledge Static's concerns. At this point, none of Static's family members were present because he had just asked his wife to go back home and get certain items he had prepared on a list. However, Avanti received a call from Static's mother, informing him that he had just passed out. Trying to think positively, Avanti hoped it was simply due to his fear of hospitals. But by the time she got there, Static was officially dead and without a heartbeat. His family was very suspicious of the doctors and nurses involved, and in later depositions, Nurse Diane Richards, who performed on him that day, remembers that he did express discomfort when the catheter was inserted, saying, this hurts too much. There's something wrong in my organs, which is unusual." She remembers taking an X-ray to make sure it was positioned correctly, but later Chief Surgeon Dr. Dean J. Wickel told Nurse Richards that it was in fact in the wrong place and gave her the order to remove it. Static started to lose consciousness during the removal procedure, and by the time it was completely removed, he had passed out and regrettably would not regain consciousness. Months after Static's death, his wife filed a lawsuit against Baptist Hospital East and Dr. Dean J. Wickel, who recommended and provided Stevens treatment. The lawsuit claims that medical negligence on the part of the hospital and doctor caused Stevens' death and demands a jury judgment for compensation and punitive damages, along with the cost associated with Stevens' pain and suffering. However, it turned out that only Wayne would benefit from the two of them. Exactly 17 days after Static's death, the music video for Lollipop debuted on BET, and just as Static had predicted, the song was a smash hit, giving Wayne some of the biggest accolades of his career. Without further ado, let's look at the numbers. Static Major passed away on February 25, 2008, with a focus on the 25th, because the word death equals 25. We then learned that he passed away at the young age of 33, a number that has such significant numerical value that I created an entire video on it for those who are interested. In this instance, however, you can see how his age of death corresponds with the value of his first name, Steven, in the most pure cipher. But this is where Lil Wayne's connection begins to appear in the numbers. Major passed away 107 days after receiving his 33rd birthday notice. Lollipop, the song that helped him and Wayne win their first ever Grammy Award, is equal to 107. If you've watched my previous videos, you're aware that we discuss how this number relates to the phrase ritual sacrifice. But what are the chances that Static Major's label, Blackground Records, was also equal to 107? Keep in mind that this is the same label that signed R&B legend Aaliyah. Now, if that didn't persuade you, what are the chances that Static Major passed away 107 days before the release of Carter III, the album he helped catapult to the top? As you saw a moment ago, it ties to all of these extremely pertinent words to really drive home the point. In keeping with the words sacrifice and ritual sacrifice, Lollipop made its debut on March 13th, the 73rd day of the year, on the number 73. To further support my belief that this tragic loss was probably a sacrifice for Lil Wayne's career, note that Static died 7 months and 3 days before his 26th birthday, which is equivalent to the number 73. The title of his best-selling album, which was released that same year, equates to 67 and 86, like Human and Blood Sacrifice. Last but not least, recall the solo project I mentioned earlier at dinner time? Well, it never came to light, but I did find it odd that it held the value of 56 in accordance with the day of the year Static Major music died, as always. The numbers definitely seem to point to a specific culprit, and given the way things transpired in the real world for the two of them, I can't help but feel there is more to it than meets the eye. He passed away on February 8, 2009, about a year after the loss of music legend Static Major. He was posthumously awarded a Grammy, which Wayne accepted on his behalf on the 39th day of the year. That's all I have to say for now. Based on my impression of Lil Wayne's innumerable hits, I'm convinced that he, like many other artists, passed through those notorious doors to success on his path to stardom. Was Static Major's death simply a tragic case of hospital negligence, or was there something more going on? Did the industry try to dim his shine to keep Wayne's light blazing? The numbers certainly make it seem that way. Click the video on the screen if you liked it and want to see how hip-hop icon Kanye West also fell victim to these same doors. Don't forget to hit the like button, which helps these videos rank higher in the algorithm.